which is actually pretty heavy. You look like a cowboy when you're wearing it. Hello, my name's Tony and I'm a wedding photographer based in Lancashire in the UK, and today I'm going to talk you through what's in my camera bag, what I take to weddings. Let's face it, it's not been used for a while. It needed a big clear out. There's like Tic Tacs in the bottom and all sorts, wires that I've accumulated over the past year. So we're starting afresh and I thought I would show you my camera bag while it's nice and clean. First up is the bag itself, which is actually pretty heavy. This bag is the Pro Tactic 450 AWII. It's the favourite camera bag that I have had over the years. The main reason being, it opens from the back, which is absolutely brilliant. I love backpacks for weddings. I'm not a fan of a roller case. I need something that I can whip on and carry around everywhere with me. As with most camera bags, you've got these two compartments. In this top compartment here, I've got spare bits and bats, so spare holders for my Holdfast camera strap, some loops for my cameras, and some batteries in this bottom section here. So first up is my trusty Holdfast camera strap, which has space for two cameras on the bottom here. I absolutely love this strap. I must have had it now for a good few years. It's still going strong. You look like a cowboy when you're wearing it, or Lara Croft. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Distributes the weight evenly across both my cameras, and when I'm wearing it, I don't actually feel like I'm carrying any weight around at all. One other piece of trusty equipment I have in my camera bag is the Hoodman Loupe. I use this at every single wedding. I've just realised it is actually now dropping to bits a little bit. I've had to put some tape around. So the cameras I shoot with are two Canon 5D Mark IIIs, which are my absolute trusty camera. I've not moved to Sony, I've not moved to anything else. I've had these for quite some time. They work well, I use them, I know them inside out, and I love the Canon colours as well, so I don't know if I would change just yet until I found maybe a mirrorless camera, Canon camera that I absolutely love. At the minute, these are robust enough to take me through at least another wedding season. So back to the Hoodman Loupe, which I mentioned earlier. I use this to pop on the back of my camera screen, especially when it's really sunny weather, so I can look through there and check the exposures on the camera, because there's no electronic viewfinder in here, and I do shoot for the highlights, so I want to make sure that the highlights aren't blown when I'm taking pictures. So yeah, I currently use a Hoodman Loupe. Hopefully whenever I do upgrade my cameras, we won't need this anymore, but it's very handy if you're still shooting on one of the trusty DSLRs. On the bottom of the cameras, you'll also notice I have these little attachments, which are how my camera hangs from the Holdfast camera strap. So I shoot with two of these. To go with my trusty Canons, I'm also a massive fan of the Canon prime lenses, particularly the L lenses. My most used lens at weddings is definitely the 35mm Canon 1.4 L lens. I use this for the majority of my photographs on a wedding day. I do like to get close and get in there amongst the action, and I do feel as though this lens is definitely the perfect storytelling lens on a wedding day. I've been using prime lenses now for at least 5 years, maybe a little bit longer. I don't have any zooms in my camera kit, they're all prime lenses, so I do tend to use my feet to zoom, which is also quite good for exercise on a wedding day too. As I do carry two cameras round on a wedding day, on the right hand side I have my Canon 35, and on the left I have this absolute beast, the 85mm 1.2 Canon L lens. This is a very heavy lens but the bokeh that it produces is absolutely insane. I would say I probably use this on about 10 to 15% on a wedding day, definitely within the church and also during portraits. It's a beautiful portrait lens, and the focal length really complements the 35mm as well, so you've got a good range. You've got the 35mm to get up close, and you've got the 85mm to get in close. Next up is potentially my favourite lens from the Canon collection. I don't use this nowhere near as much as I probably should do, and that is the Canon 50mm 1.2. This lens is just beautiful. If you only had one prime lens from the Canon L lens collection, I would definitely recommend the 50mm 1.2. Absolutely wonderful, creates the most perfect portraits, and in fact that is purely what I use this camera for. The lens flare on this camera is absolutely insane. So this definitely comes out during the evening for sunset portraits, which we don't get a lot of, but if there is some sunshine about, this is definitely coming out. If I'm doing shoots as well, and you probably will have seen that on the majority of my YouTube channel, I do tend to use the 50mm 1.2 for shoots. It's a great focal length for portraits, and that is what I use this lens for, mainly for portraits. And the last prime lens in my little collection is the 24mm 1.4 that does need a little bit of a dust, I must say. This lens comes out for me in the evening time when everyone's letting loose on the dance floor. I'm getting in there with the 24mm, capturing the wild party. For me, it's great for dancing photographs at weddings, definitely tells the wider story. It's also really handy to have something a little bit wider than the 35mm in your camera bag, sometimes for the large group photograph that you might need to do, or group photographs in general. Definitely handy to have something a little bit wider in your camera bag. Next up in my camera bag is flashes. I have 4 of these in my camera bag. I tend to use 4 during a wedding day, mainly during the speeches. I like to have a lot of control over where I use my speed lights. These are the Yongnuo YN560IV. I don't like spending a lot on flashes because they do get knocked over and they do break. I always use them on manual power. I don't need anything all singing, all dancing. I just need some basic flashes to do the job. Now, because these flashes aren't wireless, I also need an abundance of triggers and receivers. For me, I've always used the Phottix triggers and receivers. They're absolutely brilliant, really easy to control. These are the Phottix Strato IIs. The transmitter has 4 little buttons on it, so you can select flash A, flash B, flash C, and the receiver actually just slots on to the end of your flash, and the receiver just pops onto the end of your flash, and then that would then go on your light stand. So you set the channel and you set the letter A, B, C or D, and then you just control that from here. Very simple, very easy to use. Last up in my camera bag is an ever-growing collection from Magmod. You will have noticed that my flashes have these MagGrips on, and that's because I use the Magmod modifiers to control the light and the spill of the light on my flashes during weddings. And to do this, I use the Magmod MagGrids, which are super, super handy. The way they connect to the flash is with magnets. Really simple and easy to use. And what these grids do is they just control the spill of the light, gives you more direction and more control over what your flash is hitting. I also use these Magmod gel holders. I mainly use the CTO gels, which just warms up that light coming out of the flashes. Anytime I'm using a flash, you'll quite often find me using it with an orange CTO gel on the top. And what's great about Magmod is I can pop a gel on the top, and even if I then decide I want to pop a grid on, that just goes on the top of there. So you've got your MagGrip, your grid, and your gel just like that. Another favourite piece of my Magmod kit is the Snoot. I use this so much to control the spill of the light. There's so much control that comes out of the Snoot. It really narrows down the spill of the light coming out of the flash. When you've got the Snoot fully extended like so, the spill of the light is so narrow, the line of light is so narrow that it does require a lot of precision to use. But I love the effects of this, especially during speeches. I also use it during portraits as well, when I only want like someone's face lit up rather than the whole body. It really offers a lot of creativity to your photographs. So there you have it, that's everything in my camera bag in 2021. If you enjoyed it, you might also enjoy my vlog channel, where I have what's in my vlogging camera bag, as well as so much behind the scenes content of photo shoots, weddings, days in the lives as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.